Do what must be done. Do not hesitate. Show no mercy.
The Star Wars fandom is obsessed with talking about the succession to Kathleen Kennedy because they think that it might actually make a difference. I'm sorry to tell you, but if you think that a new president can change the culture of Lucasfilm, can save Star Wars.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
Disney Star Wars is beyond repair. It's fake Star Wars. But you got a lot of people who still talk about this stuff, and that continues with this article from The Hollywood Reporter by Peter Kuifer. The article is complete garbage, and he only briefly mentions Filoni at the end. In this article, Peter Kuifer says that Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck are Lucasfilm vets and that they will take co-head roles to run Lucasfilm. Now, I wonder where he heard that from. Josh from Den of Shills.
Dave came in and changed Accolade a bunch. He cut that shit up, changed it all around, and this was an example of him asserting that CCO power, the potentially co-president power that he's about to get.
These scoopers and websites, they recycle ideas from each other. They validate the rumors. Peter Kuifer was probably queefing on YouTube and came across Josh's video. Makes a very long and stupid article and very stupid suggestion that there would be co-presidents, and now you got everyone running with it. Today I noticed something that I think a lot of people have overlooked, and the successor for Kathleen Kennedy has been right in front of our face this entire time. I'm going to take you to the Wayback Machine for the Lucasfilm leadership page. Below Kathleen Kennedy, you have Mamita Sengupta as Executive Vice President Physical Production. And then you got a bunch of losers after her. And if you scroll down, you get to Carrie Beck, who was mentioned in the article, Vice President Animation and Live Action Series Development. This was April 29th, 2021. We go to May 20th, 2021. Dave Filoni is listed on the website. Dave Filoni has been a big shot at Lucasfilm for a while. This is where he officially got listed on the website and right behind Mamita Sengupta. And he has retained this spot for the last 4 years. But his title has changed. It started off executive producer, executive creator, director. And then we go to 2022, Carrie Beck has made it up the list to Senior Vice President, Development and Production. And then October 19, 2023, Carrie Beck makes her way all the way to the top behind Kathleen Kennedy, Executive Vice President, Live Action Development and Production. And it looks like Mamita Sengupta got demoted in favor of a white person. Now, personally, I don't care, but this is Disney Lucasfilm. It just looks incredibly racist, favoring a white person over a person of color. But hey, rules for me, not for thee. Then we get to 2024, and Dave Filoni has his new title, Executive Vice President, Chief Creative Officer. Once he was put on the leadership team page, he is stuck with the same spot, but his title has elevated, and now he is Chief Creative Officer. But notice he is behind Carrie Beck. And this does matter. This is not a coincidence. Lucasfilm sees her as a higher position than Dave Filoni, but as far as creativity goes, he is Chief Creative Officer. Now, Dave Filoni is complete garbage, has been for years, but this title suggests that he can cook fake Star Wars and doesn't have to answer to anyone. Now, there's some speculation that he has to answer to Kathleen Kennedy, and it's actually Kathleen Kennedy that makes Disney Star Wars bad, and if we get rid of her, we can remove the shackles from Dave Filoni, and we will get better fake Star Wars.
If I wasn't in these shackles, But you are bled. You are in the shackles.
Little son!
That is fake news. Dave Filoni has all the creative control he wants, and Kathleen Kennedy doesn't intervene with his projects. Did Kathleen Kennedy intervene with Leslie Headland when she cooked for the Acolyte? Did she intervene with Tony Gilroy? No, she didn't. So to think Dave Filoni is going to do better if Kathleen Kennedy leaves, or do better if he is the president of Lucasfilm, he's chief creative officer already, and you have no evidence that he is limited in his creativity in this very prestigious role. In this video, I'm telling you who I think the next Lucasfilm president will be. I don't think it will be Dave Filoni. This is where he peaks, chief creative officer. If you look at his job description, it's just talking about how he was a creator, writer. This is where he's meant to be, to create fake Star Wars and make really bad fake Star Wars. Yet some people want him to have more power, more authority to do what? Kathleen Kennedy's job? How many hours a week does he work as chief creative officer? So if you're a fan of Dave Filoni and he's putting in 50, 60 hours or more for his job, how much work is he going to allocate to do Kathleen Kennedy's job? He's going to have to do 2 jobs. Or is he going to become president and then someone else is going to become the chief creative officer? So I failed to understand in any scenario how, if you are a fan of Dave Filoni, how him being the president is going to be an improvement. And let's state the obvious, he's not qualified to run a company. He's just not. He's just a guy with a wolf fetish who doesn't understand Star Wars. Now, someone like Carrie Beck, Executive Vice President, Live Action Development and Production, she is more qualified to be president of Lucasfilm, and she's already in a higher position than Filoni. The website rankings don't lie. And she's really rising the ranks, you know? Didn't take long to rise those ranks. You wonder what she's doing to rise the ranks of Lucasfilm. Maybe a little jerky, sucky. She loved Iger long time? I don't know, but she's rising the ranks pretty fast. She produced Rebels, the final season of Clone Wars. She played a critical role in the creative development of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Immediately, that should disqualify you from being the next president. The worst theme park in the world. How do you screw up a Star Wars theme park? So again, she's just more of a producer than Filoni, just more qualified for this position. But is she the next Lucasfilm president? No, she's not. I don't care what Josh from Den of SHILL says, the Hollywood Reporter. This would be a ridiculous choice. Check it out. Lynwen Brennan, Executive Vice President and General Manager. She is second, not Carrie Beck, second in command. The website doesn't lie. Carrie Beck is an Executive Vice President, and so is Lynwen Brennan, Executive Vice President, but she's also a General Manager, and she is listed right up there with Kathleen Kennedy, number 2. And this goes all the way back to 2019. 2019, for 6 years. Been longer than that. Lynwen Brennan has been the closest thing to Kathleen Kennedy for a very long time. Look at her job description. As president and general manager of Lucasfilm businesses, Lynwen Brennan oversees all divisions including Lucasfilm, Industrial Light and Magic, and Skywalker Sound. She's responsible for the development and execution of Lucasfilm's business strategy and implementation of the company vision. Lynwen oversees the Lucasfilm franchise groups, including marketing and integrated planning, games publishing and consumer products, publicity, asset management, and content strategy. She also looks after Lucasfilm studio operations, including human resources. Her career with Lucasfilm started in 1999. 1999, back when George Lucas was there. She's been there a long time. She's had a very high position for a long time. Look what Kathleen Kennedy said about her. In 2015, Lynwen Brennan named GM of Lucasfilm. As soon as I joined Lucasfilm, I immediately recognized Lynwen as a major talent, says Kennedy. She is a rare combination of business acumen and production expertise that is invaluable for a creative company. As we accelerate production of content for television, film, theme parks, and interactive games, Lynwen will focus on her strategic vision and lead day-to-day operations. With her 16-year history at Lucasfilm, Lynwen brings a wealth of knowledge to the position. I'm thrilled that she is taking a larger role in the company. And that was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, Kennedy liked her then, probably loves her now. They probably have sex. Kathleen Kennedy says she's staying and lingering around the company to train the next person. She's going to die making movies. I don't think she needs to stick around to help Lynwen Brennan run Lucasfilm. Look at Kathleen Kennedy's job description on the website. It's all talking about movies that she produced. And then right here you have a little blurb. As president of Lucasfilm, she oversees the company's 3 divisions: Lucasfilm, Industrial Light and Magic, and Skywalker Sound. Lynwen Brennan oversees all businesses, including Lucasfilm, Industrial Light and Magic, and Skywalker Sound. It's the exact same job. The exact same job. You gotta wonder, what does Kathleen Kennedy do at the company?
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
I mean, surely it's got to be somewhat different, but on the website, according to the website, they basically do the same thing. So you're telling me Lynwen Brennan, who's been there since 1999, if Kathleen Kennedy just decided to leave tomorrow, Lynwen couldn't just step in? I mean, it's not like the bar is set really high as well. If you factor that in, how badly Kathleen Kennedy has run Lucasfilm, Lynwen could step right in. Easy. She's a female. Kind of looks like Kathleen Kennedy. She agrees with the vision, and I got another video coming on that. But some people, they might not be convinced. They might be like, no, Melvin Dave Filoni, even though he's got no experience, he's the guy. Well, on August 1st, 2024, Lynwen Brennan's title changed. She's no longer executive vice president. She is now president and general manager, Lucasfilm Business. Listed second after Kathleen Kennedy, has always been up there with her. And now she's the only one with president in her title that's not named Kathleen Kennedy. If there are betting odds for this on Shill Kings, Lynwen Brennan is going to be your next Lucasfilm president whenever Kathleen Kennedy decides to step down. I mean, they can go with lesser experienced Carrie Beck, and Lynwen will take orders from her. Or they'll go with Dave Filoni because the fake fans want him, and they don't care about his lack of qualifications to run a company. The other option is they bring in someone completely new. But who are you going to find that is more experienced than Lynwen Brennan, who's been there since 1999, has been the general manager since 2015, been working directly with Kathleen Kennedy, doing her job, executive vice president for years, and now they have elevated her to president. And if you're thinking they're going to be outside the box to try to bring in someone that really changes Disney Star Wars, someone that understands that the fans hate Disney Star Wars and they want to change it, no, they're not going to bring in someone like that. Dave Filoni, they're going to die with Dave Filoni as the chief creative officer. He will be chief creative officer as long as Disney Star Wars is there. And he's going to make all the creative decisions. The culture is not going to change at Lucasfilm. I would bet anything that the next president is going to be female. And if I had to place a bet on Shill Kings, I'm going to go with the bet that has the best odds, and that's Lynwen Brennan. Disney Star Wars is not Star Wars. It is fake Star Wars. It cannot be saved, and Lucasfilm will never change their culture. You need to disavow Disney Star Wars completely and make sure to become a Knight, subscribe to the channel, join the Knights of Melvin Discord, help plot to take down Disney and all their shills.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the shills. At last we will have revenge.
Damn well sure we'll avenge it.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.